if you read this question, question number 1 from exercise 8D, it states that find the amount and compound interest on 1,20,000 at 8% per annum for 1 year, compounded half yearly. Okay, so here if you see, the principal here is 1,20,000. Okay, the rate here is given to be 8%, but you see this phrase here, compounded half yearly, compounded half yearly. Because, and yesterday, if you remember, I told you if the interest is compounded half yearly, then you are dividing the year into two equal parts. Okay, again, I repeat that if the interest is being compounded half yearly, then you are dividing the year into two equal parts. So if you are dividing the year into two equal parts, then the rate which is given to be 8% must be divided by 2, because you are dividing the year into two equal parts, so that you get R is equal to 4. And the time here N is given to be 1 year. But since you are dividing the year into two equal parts, the time here must be multiplied by 2. So remember, the time will be multiplied by 2 and the year will be divided by 2 if you are dividing the year into two equal parts. Okay, so remember, this rate here is divided. Rate is divided by 2, and time here is multiplied by 2. So time is multiplied by 2, rate is divided by 2. Remember this, okay? Therefore, amount after 1 year, because N is equal to 1 year here, right? N is equal to 1 year. Amount after 1 year is equal to, write down the formula, P 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of N. P here is 1,20,000. Rate here is 4, because we have divided it by 2, divided by 100. And time here is 2, because we have multiplied time by 2. Now we can calculate this from here. So therefore, we have 1,20,000. And what you do here is you can cancel 4 and 100. 4 goes 25 times. You simply get 1 plus 1 by 25 whole square. And this is, now you can take the LCM. 25 plus 1 whole square. Okay. So this is into 25 plus 1 is 26 divided by 25, and you have a whole square. So you have 1,20,000. And since 26 by 25 is a whole square, you can multiply it twice. Okay. Now we can cancel also. You can cancel 1,20,000 with 25. How many times? 4,800 times. Okay. Again, 4,800 will cancel with 25. One, and then you have 23 left. So this goes
So 129792.
with 4,800 cancels 192 times. cancels 192 times because you have 25 1 and then 23 is left. So that will cancel. 25 into 9 will give you 225, and then you have 25 into 2 as 50, 192 times. So you simply get 192 into 26 into 26. So this should come to 1,29,790. This is the amount after 1 year. So therefore, what should be the compound interest? Compound interest is amount minus principal. Amount here we have found to be 1,29,792, and the principal here is 1,20,000. So this comes to 9,792. Okay, and that was the question. You needed to find the amount. This is the amount. Find the compound interest. This is the compound interest. So remember, when we are dividing the year into two equal parts, that is when the interest is compounded half yearly, then we divide the rate by 2 and we multiply the time by 2. Okay, let us come to the next problem, which is problem number 3 from this exercise. Problem number 3 here is this problem. If you read this problem, it states calculate the amount and compound interest on rupees 24,000 for 1.5 years at 10% per annum compounded half yearly. Again, this is the question is half yearly. Fine, so let us do it. So here, let us write down what is given. Here, the principal is given to be 24,000. Okay. The time here, let's write the rate first. Rate here is given to be 10%. But the point is that the year is divided because the interest is compounded half yearly. We are dividing the year into two equal parts. So therefore, we shall divide the rate by 2. So R becomes 5. N, because we are dividing the year into again two equal parts, we need to multiply the time by 2. Time here given here is 1.5 years. So we need to multiply 1.5 by 2. So 1.5 is 3 by 2 into 2. So which actually gives you 3. So therefore, what is the amount after 1.5 years? After 1.5 years, A is equal to, write down the formula, P 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of N. P is 24,000. 1 plus R is 5 by 100. N here is 3. So this is 24,000. Cancel here. So you simply get 1 plus 1 by 20 whole cube. Now you take the LCM. You get 20 plus 1 whole cube. This is 24,000 into 20 plus 1 is 21 by 20 whole cube. So now since this is a whole cube, we shall write it thrice. So 24,000 into 21 by 20 into 21 by 20 into 21 by 20. Now we'll cancel out. 3 zeros cancel here. 1 0 from here. 1 0 from here. And the third 0 from here. Now we can cancel with 2 also. 2 1, 2 12, 2 1, 2 6, 2123. Okay, so you only get 3 into 21 into 21 into 21. Okay, so now if you multiply all this together, you are going to get 27,783. 27,783. Okay, this is the amount that you are getting after. Let's write rupees at last. This is rupees 27,783. This is the amount after 1.5 years. So therefore, the compound interest should be the amount minus principal. So 27,783 minus the principal here is 24,000. Okay. So this compound interest will get rupees 3,783. Fine. This was exactly similar problem for half yearly. Let us do one problem for quarterly, which is question number 5. Question number 5. Question is calculate the amount and compound interest on 15,625 for 9 months. Only 9 months, not even a year. Okay. On 15,625 for 9 months at 16% per annum. So here, let us write the principal. Principal here is 15,625. Now see this phrase here, compounded quarterly. You see this phrase, compounded quarterly. Quarterly means we are dividing the year into 4 equal parts. Okay, you know quarter means 4. We are dividing the year into 4 equal parts. So therefore, here rate is 16%, and since we are dividing the entire year into 4 equal parts, we must divide the rate by 4 and not by 2, because there it was half yearly in the previous problem. In the previous problem, we are dividing the year into 2 equal parts. Here, because the interest is compounded quarterly, we are dividing the year into 4 equal parts. So therefore, we divide it by 4. This is 4. And n here is 9 months. But 9 months, you always express n in years. So 9 months, if you want to express in years, it must be 9 by 12. You have expressed this in years, but the point is that interest has been compounded half yearly also. So you must multiply that time by 4. Is this step clear? Or anyone has anything to ask?
So can you explain once more this time one?
Time here is 9 months. So first you express 9 months in years. This is 9 by 12 years, right? Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And when interest is compounded quarterly,
Yes.
you know that it should be the time must be multiplied by 4, isn't it? So that is how we
Yes.
get the time. So this is, now it will cancel. So you're getting n is equal to 3. So therefore, amount after 9 months. A is equal to, write the formula, P 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of n. Principal here is 15,625. 1 plus R here we have found to be 4 by 100, and time here is 3. So 4 and 100 they cancel 25 times. So you get 15,625 into 1 plus 1 by 25 whole cube. So this is 15,625, and now you can take the LCM within the cube. So 25, and you get 25 plus 1 cube. This is 15625 into 25 plus 1 is 26 divided by 25 whole cube. So this is 15625 into, this is 26 by 25 into 26 by 25 into 26 by 25, because the power is 3. So that is why we write it thrice. Now 25 will cancel with 15625. How many times this will cancel? 6, and you have 2 and you have 5. 625 times. Again, this will cancel how many times? 25 times. Again, 25 will cancel with 25 only once. So you're only getting 26 into 26 into 26. So if you multiply this 26 into 26 into 26, you will get 17,576, and this is in rupees. Okay. Therefore, what should be the compound interest here? Therefore, compound interest is amount minus principal, 17,576 minus, and the principal here was given to be 15,625. And if you subtract, you get this to be rupees 1,951. That's it. Any questions on this problem? No questions? Fine. Now, this finishes your syllabus uh, on mathematics. Okay. Divided by p plus 5. So whenever you are dividing, suppose I'm dividing 5 divided by 2. This is what called the dividend, right? This is called the divisor, right? Can be written as 5 divided by 2 also. And when you divide 5 by 2, what do you get? You get 2 as your quotient, because 2 into 2 is 4, and you get 1 as your remainder. Okay. So how do you get the dividend here? That means what you see here is this 5 here is equal to divisor, which is this 2, divisor 2, divisor into quotient, 2 into 2 plus, sorry, plus 1. Okay. So the basic thing that works here is, you must remember that dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. So here if you see, what is my dividend here? Dividend here is 3p square plus 17p plus 10. And divisor here is p plus 5. Okay. So therefore we start dividing now. P plus 5, 3p square plus 17p plus 10. Now, in order to start the division, first of all, you must, whenever you are dividing, you must see that the first term in the expression of the dividend. Here the first term is 3p square. So step 1. This you'll do in rough. Okay. 3p square you have. The 3p square, the leading term or the first term of the dividend, you will divide by the first term of the divisor, which is p. So how much do you get? 3p. Once you divide this, now that you're getting 3p, you see this divisor here, p plus 5. This 3p you will multiply with the divisor, 3p into p plus 5. You get 3p square plus 15p. Okay, while writing here, see 3p square plus 15p you have got, you will write it here. So 3p square you will write below 3p square, and this 15p you will write below 17p, because the 17p and 15p are like terms. You will write like terms below the like terms. Okay, so divide. You subtract this will cancel off. Here what do you get? 17p minus 15p, you get 2p, and you bring down a 10. Okay, the step 1 is over. Now next we look at step 2. In step 2 again we look
Excuse me,
at the
sir.
yes.
Sir, we have to do this step one, step two, or we
No, you don't
can't do
have
it
to. You don't
directly.
have to. This is As I said, you can do it in rough or you can skip this step altogether. Okay, this is
Okay,
only
sir.
for your information. So in step 2, you see the again you see the leading term of the first term. So you see a 2p here. You write 2p. And what is the leading term of the first term of the divisor? P. So you divide this by p. You get 2. So now this 2 you multiply again with the divisor. So twice p plus 5. You get 2p plus 10. Now what you do? You write 2p below 2p and 10 you write below 10. And now you subtract. So if you see these two cancel here, you get 0. So according to this, what was the first thing that I was writing here? I was multiplying by 3p. So I will write 3p on top here, just above 3p square. What is the second thing that I divide by? Plus 2. So I'll write a plus 2 here. So this expression here at the top that I'm getting, this 3p and plus 2, this becomes my quotient. So quotient is 3p plus 2. And here what I'm getting is called the remainder. Remainder is 0. Fine. Okay, let us
Sir,
take,
sir, I
yes,
have a doubt.
tell me.
Sir, in the quotient,
Hmm.
we have written 3p plus 2.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Then how we can change the sign if it is written 3p plus 2? It could be 3p minus 2 also.
It will not be 3p minus 2 because see, can you see the signs here? When I have divided 2p, this is a plus sign here, isn't it? Plus 2p.
Yes, sir.
And I'm dividing by a
Yes, sir.
plus p. So plus and plus will definitely give you a plus 2.
Yes, sir.
Understood? Clear?
Okay, sir.
So you have to work with the
Yes,
sign.
sir.
I will show you one similar problem there. Um, let us do another problem. Let us do this problem. Question is divide y cube plus 1 by y plus 1. Okay. So again here, I don't need to write, I'll divide directly. You know that which one is dividend? Dividend is y cube plus 1. Which one is the divisor? It is y plus 1. So I'll not write. But what you see here is very something that is very strange. You have a y cube, but you don't have a y square, you don't have a y, right? Now, whenever you are writing here the dividend, you write a y cube. And if you see any such thing, whenever you come across an algebra, whenever you come across this dividend here, always try to write the dividend in descending powers of the variable. See here I have a y cube, but I don't have a y square. So I'll write a 0 into y square. Okay. I also don't have a y. So I'll write 0 into y. Why? Because see, power 3, then power 2 of y, and then power 1 of y, and then the constant term. So what I have done is I have written y cube plus 1 in terms of descending powers of y. Is it absolutely clear, or anyone wants an explanation on this once again?
So, but why we are doing that?
Why we are doing, we'll see later. But you know how to write in descending powers, right? Just
Sir, why we will
Yes.
write o y square?
that
Sir,
is what I'm
can you
saying.
please explain it once more?
We
Yes,
will
sir.
write y cube plus 1. This dividend here, is y cube plus 1, right? Now, see, y starts, the power of y starts from 3 and will continue till the power 1 or 0. Okay, so y cube I will write, and then I will write 0 into y square. This is after power 3, you have the next power. Descending powers, you know what you mean by descending power? That is
Yes.
highest power first, and then you start moving towards the lower powers. And then the next lower power is y, and then the constant term here. Okay. So now here, why have I written this? You will see in the following steps. Why have I written? So first of all, you see the first term of the dividend. What is the first term here? Y cube. So step 1, y cube is there, and first term of the dividend here is y. So you divide y cube by y to get y square. Now this y square you divide by the divisor. Which one is the divisor? Y plus 1 is the divisor. So you multiply y square by y plus 1 with the divisor. How much do you get? Y cube plus y square. Do you see a y square we are getting here? That is why we write it in descending powers of y. See, we are getting a y cube plus y square here. So what I'll do is I'll write a y cube below y cube, and I'll write a y square below y square. Now you understood why I wrote in descending powers.
No, but there is zero y square, no.
Huh?
There is zero y square.
So what? But still a y square is there. You can write y square below y square. 0 into y square is a 0. That is why I've written, I just wanted to see a y square there, because I had a y square here and I wanted to write y square below a y square. That is why I gave 0 into y square. Understood?
So we can leave space also.
You can leave space also, no problem. Instead of writing 0 into y square, you can leave space and you can simply write y square. But it is better if you write 0 into y square. So here,
Okay.
now if we subtract here, this will cancel. So now 0 into y square is 0. 0 minus y square will simply give you a y square, right? You understood? Or any question? Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring down 0 into y. Okay. Now it's time for step 2. Look at the first term of this. You have a minus y square. So I write a minus y square. See, and now I'm writing with the sign because there's a negative sign there. Okay. And I divide this by again by this y here. So minus y square divided by y. I simply get a minus y. So minus y, I again multiply with the divisor, y plus 1. So I get minus y square minus y. So here again I write minus y square minus y. Y square I write below y square, and y I write below y, and subtract. This cancels. So you get 0 into y plus y, which is simply y. And now I bring down a 1. Okay. Step 3. In step 3, you see what is the leading term here? The first term, y. And here it is y. So y divided by y will give you 1. So this 1 you need to multiply by the divisor. Divisor is y plus 1. So 1 into y plus 1 will give you simply y plus 1. So you write y plus 1 here. Y plus 1. Okay. Subtract. This cancels. Get a 0. So therefore, what is your quotient? Quotient here is consists of all these. What all are you getting? You're getting y square. So write y square on top here. Next, what are you getting? You're getting a minus y. So you write a minus y. Next, what are you getting? You're getting a plus 1. So you get a plus 1. So therefore, quotient is y square minus y plus 1.
So we have to show step 1, step 2, step 3 in the
You don't
exam.
necessarily have to show. If you can do directly, no problem. Okay. So that is it.
So I have a doubt in some.
Tell me.
So in exercise 11A number 13.
11A. Page number, tell me.
So 145.
Number
13.
11A number 13. Okay,
Yes,
A
sir.
can do a piece of work in 14 days. B can do it in 21 days. Okay, before I continue. Okay, number 13 here states A can do a piece of work in 14 days. B can do a piece of work in 21 days. They begin together, but 3 days before the completion of the work, A leaves off. Find the number of days taken to complete the work. So what is A's work done? A's
So
work
1 by
done 1 by 14.
1 by 14.
B's work done is 1 by 21. Okay, they begin together. That means what is A and B's work done? A's work done plus B's work done, or let's say and. It's not right plus. If they were working together, how much part of the work do they complete in one day? 1 by 14 plus 1 by 21. So take the LCM, 21. Sorry, not 21. LCM of 14 and 21 will be how much?
42.
42. So 3 plus 2, 5 by 42. This is the work done by A and B both. Okay. Now they begin together, but 3 days before the completion of the work, A leaves. Find the number of days to complete the work. Number of days taken to complete the work. Suppose let A and B work together for X days. Let the work be completed in X days, not A and B work together. Let the work be completed in X days. Let the work be completed in X days, right? So A and B, number of days A and B work together is how many? Number of days A and B work together. In next days, the work is getting completed, but just 3 days before they are leaving. So A and B worked together. A leaves in how many, after how many days? X minus 3 days, because just 3 days before the completion of the work, A leaves. Okay. Find the total number of days taken to complete it. So we need to find out X here. So what is the work done in X minus 3 days? Work done in 1 day is 5 by 42. Work done in X minus 3 days is 5 by 42 into X minus 3, right? So what is the remaining work? What is the remaining work? One minus 5 by 42 into X minus 3. Okay. This is the remaining work. So let's simplify this. 1 minus 5x minus 15 by 42. Now you can take the LCM. 42 minus, this should be in brackets here, 5x minus 15. So 42 minus 5x minus 15. So you get 42 minus 5x plus 15 divided by 42. So this is 57 minus 5x by 42. This is the remaining work. In how many days it is getting completed, and who is completing the work? B is completing the work here. Okay. B is completing the work because A is leaving, and in how many days is he completing? He is completing this amount of work in 3 days. So what is number of days taken for B to complete? Now, if the meeting ends, you join once again for 5 minutes. Okay. Those of you, if you have any question, you join once again for 5 minutes. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
If this meeting ends, you will join. I'll start the meeting once again. You join once again. Okay.